The Markham Royals are rolling once again, and they faced a huge task last Friday as they took on the OJ's #1 team, the Trenton Golden Hawks. More on that in just a moment. This is the OJ Today. Hey folks, I'm Alex Bastiavansky. We've got a jam-packed show this week, tons of highlights, plus a team report on that powerful Trenton squad, and a feature story on Georgetown D-man Matt Cairns. That's all coming up later on. But first, let's get to the Gong Show Gear game highlights. And after suffering a bit of a slide that allowed the Aurora Tigers to momentarily climb back into first place in the North, the Markham Royals have gotten things back in gear again. They're leading the division and wanted to keep the hot play going against the Golden Hawks last Friday. Game highlights are brought to you by, of course, Gong Show Gear. Gong Show Gear, a lifestyle hockey apparel, official sponsor of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. The Royals now have a 9-point bulge over second place Aurora in the North. They've been red hot lately, and they come out gunning just 5:32 in. Tyson Bruce with the awesome solo effort to make it 1-0. Bruce now has 29 goals on the season, and the Royals lead. The Hawks nearly tie it right up. Dawson Baker flies past Brandon Washer, but Marcus Samayo comes up with a huge stop and then does likewise on the follow-up. Great goaltending. Second frame, Markham adds to its lead.
Here comes the Jet 3-on-2. Falco, Rishotska! Lucas Candela!
2-zip Royals, and then more from Samayo. Trenton applies all kinds of pressure, but the gunslinger, as Joe Montezano refers to him, stands tall to deny the Hawks not once but twice. 2 of 9 first period saves he made. 14:32 in, the Royals extend their lead. Nobody clears out Jeff Joint in front of the net. He knocks it home, and it's 3-zip Markham, and that's how this one ends up. What a big win for the Royals. As mentioned, they've now got a 9-point bulge over second place Aurora in the North. Bruce with the deuce, and Joint a single in the victory. Okay, the Orangeville Flyers are sliding right now. They'd lost 4 of 5 before taking on the Panthers last weekend, and it starts out poorly for them. 5:54 in, Thomas Azzano at the side of the net banks home the rebound. 1-zip for the Cats, and then Latinovich gets hung out to dry again on another rebound as Owen Scarali knocks home the second chance. Second period, it all gets worse for the Flyers. Deja vu all over again. Latinovich makes the initial stop. This time, Gentles puts home the rebound. 3-0 Pickering. Then 2 minutes later, John Hudgen out front 1 times the offering. All Pickering up 4-zip. In the third, Flyers down 5-1 at this point. D-man John DiLorenzo gets another back for them, backhanding it past Matthew Oroniak to make it 5-2. But then just 15 seconds later, a nice end-to-end rush by Mitch Waldron as he just waltzes through pretty much every Flyer on the ice and snaps it home. It was that kind of day for Orangeville as they get smoked by the Panthers, and the Flyers have now fallen 2 points behind St. Mike's for the 7th playoff seed in the Southwest. Oh, the Stouffville Spirits will need a lot of help from other teams over the next few weeks. With just a month to go, they're currently 7 points out of the 8th and final playoff spot in the Northeast, and they have to hope that some of the teams they're chasing falter, and that's obviously out of their hands. All they can control is picking up as many points as possible from their remaining games. And as they showed against Whitby last weekend, they have no intention of going quietly. Whitby was coming off a huge win over division rival Cobourg, but they were rudderless against the Spirit. Just 19 seconds in, Nathan Hudgen knocks home a rebound to give Stouffville the very early 1-0 lead. A dream start for them, and then just 3 minutes later, they strike again. Short-handed Chat Burrows and John Yahamko play a little give and go. Burrows pots the return feed. 2-zip Spirit. Whitby gets one back. Ryan Heaps fires one on goal that sneaks past Aaron Taylor, and the lead is cut in half. They tie it before the end of the frame. Second period now, Hudgen regains the lead for Stouffville with a sweet backhand to make it 3-2. Third frame was almost all Stouffville. Spencer Roberts finds Christopher Brill Morgan out front for the score. The teams would trade goals from that point on, so it finishes as a 6-3 Stouffville win. The Spirit snap a 4-game losing streak with a victory, but they've still got a lot of ground to cover if they hope to grab the 8th and final playoff spot. Okay, the Dukes had won 5 of their last 6 as they headed to Markham to face the smoking hot Royals. The home squad breaks the ice late in the first as Cooper Hyman squeaks one through from the point. You'll see how his teammates mob him here. That is because it's his first career OJHL goal. Congrats to the D-man. A second frame now. This is a guy who knows a thing or two about scoring, but Tyson Bruce gets stymied by keeper Sam Tanguay on the break. Marcus Samayo wasn't about to be outdone in the Royals net. He flashes the leather to deny St. Aubin. Royals power play. Keep an eye here on Duke's D-man Justin Bean. Bad luck as the Tyson Bruce shot ricochets off his skate and in. Tough one to swallow. 2-zip Markham. Third frame. The Dukes managed to get one back here on the power play. Ben Soke manages to snap the shot past Marcus Samayo. They cut the lead in half. It's 2-1, but Markham ends up putting this baby to bed when Aaron Spivak finds the empty net with 1:15 left on the clock. 3-1, that's how it ends up. So the Royals pick up 2 more points. They'd also go on to drop Coburg the next day, so Markham now have won 6 of 7 and are looking dangerous as the playoffs draw near. And just before we go to break, it's time for the Fan Favorite Award once again. Head to ojhl.ca to vote for your favorite player from the OJ this season. This is the 5th consecutive year that voting has been conducted. Last year alone, there were a record 56,000 votes cast for nearly 200 players. So go online, vote for your favorite player. Voting closes on March 31st. Welcome back. Well, the stage was set for a titanic tilt last Saturday in Georgetown. The West Division leading Raiders hosted the OJ's #1 squad, the Trenton Golden Hawks. And Georgetown, one of the league's youngest squads, against Trenton's grizzled veterans. It was a possible preview of the OJ Championship final about 3 months down the road, and the two teams did not disappoint. The Raiders had reeled off 5 straight wins, so it was a hot squad Trenton faced, but the Hawks draw first blood, just 2:15 in. Danny Hanlon waltzes out front, slides it past Andrew Masters, and it's an early Trenton advantage. They pad that lead on the power play 7 minutes later. Great puck movement. Josh Allen hits Jordan De Silva, who beats the sprawling Masters, and the Hawks have the Raiders back on their heels, leading 2-zip. In the second frame, they keep coming. Georgetown, sloppy in its own end. Ben Shield makes him pay, and Trenton have a commanding 3-0 lead. But, hold on, the Raiders weren't going away quietly. On the power play, Andrew Court bangs home his 10th of the season, and G-Town are on the board, trailing by a deuce. Daniel Urbani was massive for the Hawks in this game. He made 40 saves to keep them on top, several of the OMG variety. Third frame now, the Raiders put on relentless pressure.
Joe pitches up, gets it up to Jack Jacome. To Astorelli, he shoots. It's blocked. Jacome's really he tries to jam. The rebound's there. Where's the puck? Hardy has it. He gets it again. They're crying around the crease. Where's the puck? They finally blow the whistle.
Urbani, unreal. And with the net empty, the Raiders would get another back as Hardy puts it home from point-blank range, but that's as close as they would get. What a game it was. Georgetown outshot the Hawks 42-20, but Urbani was the difference as the future Canisius Golden Griffin shut the door on nearly every chance. Okay, Lindsay has had a brutal time scoring goals this year, just 102 so far, and it was all Tigers in this one. 54 seconds in, UOIT recruit Kyle Locke bulges the twine. Cats are up 1-zip, and then it's the Tigers on the rush. Graham Dines makes the initial stop, but everyone ignores J.D. Falconer, who pots the rebound 2-0. The Fish do get one back on the power play here. Some nice passing as Dayton Kent finally hammers it home, and they cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 for Aurora. Second period was all Tigers all the time, though. First, it's Drake Board one-timing the Dan Mantenuto pass home to make it 3-1. And then after that, Dan the Man hits Liam Newman, who ends up going 5-hole on Dines, and it's 4-1 Cats. It was just target practice for them on this day. Third period, 6-1 Tigers at this point. Mantenuto finally notches one himself as Austin Gerhardt feeds him out front. He one-times it home. Like I said, target practice on this day. Mantenuto ended up having a huge game, a 1-goal plus 3 helpers to make it a 4-point day. Lindsay actually beat Coburg 7-3 the night before, but their offense was MIA in this game. Well, the Kingston V's are another squad that would need a bit of help if they hope to improve their playoff standing down the stretch. Now, unless they can overtake Trenton, who are currently 7 points ahead of them, they're looking at the 3 seed in the Northeast. And what they don't want is to allow teams chasing them to gain any more ground. On Sunday, they faced off against division rival Whitby. The V's have played well lately. They'd won 4 of 5 heading into their matchup with the Fury, and the early story was David Richer, as he came up with a couple of huge stops to deny Whitby and give his team a chance to wake up, smell the coffee, and get into the game, which is exactly what they did. They draw first blood as Colin Tonge deflects the point shot home, and it's 1-0 Kingston. And they'd add one more, so it was 2-0 V's heading into the second period, and they made it 3 as Jacob Hanlon jumps all over the rebound and beats Daniel Manella. And then the Fury act as if Anthony Rinaldi has cooties and leave him alone at the side of the net. Not a good move with one of the league's top scorers, 4-0. But the Fury show heart. They never say die. Short-handed Zach Fisher with the steal. He's off to the races. Threads it to Kennedy Dogood out front. And then 31 seconds later, Ryan Taylor, don't blink. What a one-timer, and it was 4-2 at that point. The teams traded goals in the third to make it 5-3. Then Taylor, with his second highlight reel goal of the game, makes it 5-4. He just might have the best shot in the OJ, but on this day, it wasn't enough. Kingston adds an empty netter to make it 6-4. The V's are now 10 points back of Trenton, though, so it's going to be tough to make that up down the stretch for them. Okay, OJ commitments to tell you about for this week. Kyle Locke commits to UOIT. Jacob Hetherington commits to Laurier. And Mitch Emerson commits to SUNY Oswego, all for the 2016-17 season. Congratulations to all 3. And the Gong Show Gear Players of the Month were announced for January. They are in the Southwest, Cameron Wright from St. Mike's, 12 goals, 3 assists, 15 points in just 12 games. In the Northeast, Luke Brown, a repeat winner from the Dukes, 19 points in 12 games. And the goalie of the month, another repeat winner from the Raiders, Andrew Masters, a 7-3-0 record, just a 1.95 goals against average. Okay, alumni update. Andrew Podorowski of New Hampshire named semifinalist for the Walter Brown Award as Best American-Born College Hockey Player in New England. Spencer Finney from Colgate named ECAC Goalie of the Week. And our OJ standings, let's see where all the teams currently sit. A little X next to it means that team's already qualified for the playoffs. There's Markham on top of the North Division. In the East, Trenton and Kingston have both qualified. Kingston now 10 points behind the powerful Golden Hawks down the stretch. In the South, Oakville and North York have qualified. They are both tied for first place. And in the West, the Raiders, Buffalo, and Burlington have all qualified. Georgetown and Buffalo currently tied at the top with 66 points each. OJ trivia for this weekend. Your question is, drum roll please, who was the OJ scoring champion for the 2013-14 season? So if you don't know, head to ojhl.ca and check the archives. You can win an OJHL prize pack. Email Isaac Westgate, that's iwestgate at theojhl.ca. First person with the correct answer in wins. Welcome back. Well, there's no question that the Georgetown Raiders have one of the best defense units in the league this year. One of the anchors of that core has been Matt Cairns. The Cornell commit has been so impressive. He's also looking like a sure bet to be selected in the NHL draft this June. We find out more about what makes his game so effective now in this week's Player Profile.
And scores! A rocket from the point by Matt Cairns!
In rinks all across the OJHL this season, scouts have been flocking to see the player considered one of the best prospects the league has to offer. Georgetown defenseman Matt Cairns was ranked as the 93rd best player in North America in the recent NHL midterm rankings, which is no surprise to Raiders head coach Greg Walters.
His skill set is unbelievable. His feet are his biggest asset. He's got NHL speed, he's fast, he's strong.
You know, the one thing with Matthew is he makes those little plays under pressure that you want, the little bump outs to our centermen, and yeah, you know what, he has a couple turnovers every game, but that's because he has the puck a lot more than everyone else. He wins all his one-on-one battles, so he gets the puck a lot. He jumps up into the rush extremely well. He runs our power play. His shot from the point is unbelievable for a young kid, and I just can't wait to see what the future brings for this young guy.
He throws some big hits. Got a really hard shot, and he's just a solid defenseman overall. Breaking out, being a center, it's easy, you know. They'll tell him where to pass it, and they'll put it right on your tape. So it's a pleasure playing with him for sure.
I try to use my size to my advantage. I think I'm a good skater for my size, and obviously the prototypical defenseman, you want to get pucks up to the wingers and up to the forwards as quickly as you can. And, I mean, that's what I try to do best, and use my size to my advantage for sure.
Walters watched Cairns with great interest last season while he played as a rookie with the Toronto Patriots, and when he had an opportunity to acquire the 6'1", 190-pound D-man in the offseason, he jumped at the chance.
Playing in our league last year as an underage, we had an older team, and we definitely had interest in him, but he went to the Patriots and had a good season. And when he came available, he was the first guy that we sort of said, you know what, we need this guy, and he has been nothing but incredible for us, and he's a very skilled, high-end player.
I've been a guy that's been more of a stay-at-home guy, someone who's reliable in his own zone, which I'd like to bring that to my game as well, as getting up in the rush and hopefully producing if I can. I've not always been an offensive guy. I mean, that comes to with Greg. Greg's given me an opportunity to get up in the rush, to play some power play, and I think when you get those opportunities, you're obviously going to be able to produce a little bit more, and I think it's just come from the opportunity this year.
Cairns played his minor hockey with the Toronto Marlboros and was selected by the Peterborough Petes in the 2014 OHL draft, but he chose to keep his options open, and that led him to the OJHL.
Yeah, I was drafted in the 3rd round by Peterborough Petes. It was a very great day for both me and my family, and I think over the course of the year and coming in last year with the Patriots, I think I decided that I wanted to go the NCAA route, and I felt it was best for me in my situation, and I've always been someone who works hard in school, and I take pride in my studies, so I wanted to be able to continue to work hard in school and play at an elite hockey level.
It paid off for the 17-year-old, as last September he committed to the Cornell Big Red of the NCAA. Adding to an already incredible year, he was later chosen to represent Canada East at the 2015 World Junior A Challenge.
Of course, playing on that World Junior A Challenge for Team Canada, it was amazing to throw that jersey on. We had a great group of guys. I mean, obviously we didn't have the outcome that we wanted, but what an experience that was to just be a part of that, and it's something that I'll remember for a long time.
He acts, his demeanor around the rink is that of an NHL player or a professional player, and he doesn't joke around. You know, when it's time to be serious and get ready, and it's something that all of our players should look at, because he's definitely 100% committed to the game and to his future.
The sky is truly the limit for the young defenseman, who's excited to take his game to the next level when he heads to the Ithaca, New York Ivy League school in 2017.
Having the commitment to Cornell, I think that's another step in my career. I mean, it just shows the hard work and all the support that I've gotten from everybody, and I think that come into a couple years, it'll be a great experience to go into a school like that and play at a hockey level like that.
Okay, some more highlights for you. The Rangers travel across town to take on the Pats, and they start things off just a minute 36 in. Nick Campoli tips home the point shot. 1-0 Rangers. Midway through the frame, Chris Sekulic to Michael Morgan to the back of the net, and North York goes up by a deuce. Second period, the Pats hit back, though. Nick Stuckless steals the puck, uses Lapide as a decoy, and risks it past Jeremy Lintner to cut the lead in half. Just 8 seconds later, though, a momentum killer as Kyriakou knocks home the feed from Christian Mitri, 3-1 Rangers. But then Stuckless nabs his second of the day with the snapshot past Lintner, 3-2. But the Rangers grabbed one more before the buzzer to make it 4-2 at the break in the third. Pats on the PP down 4-3. Jeremy Pilara knocks it home to tie it, but then Sekulic steals it, blows it past Jacob Stanin to make it 5-4, and that was the game winner. Kudos to the Pats. You show a lot of heart by refusing to lay down and die, but ultimately it's the Rangers who grabbed the 2 points. Stuckless has 2 for the Pats and a losing cause. Okay, our top 5 scorers right now in the league. Zach Avancho on top now with 74 points. Luke Brown from Wellington close behind with 72. Anthony Rinaldi of Kingston has 68. Jack Jacome from Georgetown 60. And Jeff Kosak from the Oakville Blades in 5th place with 57 points. Welcome back. Well, from the opening puck drop this year, one squad has been a model of consistency in the OJ. The Trenton Golden Hawks have been the undisputed heavyweights of the league all season, pulling away from teams chasing them in the standings and being ranked as one of the nation's top squads in the process. Trenton, this week's team report brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk, official sponsor of the OJHL. The Trenton Golden Hawks raced out of the gate this year and haven't looked back since. The powerhouse team won their first 12 games of the season. They topped the OJHL standings and are currently the 4th ranked team in all of Canada.
Jerome doesn't accept anything other than excellence, so we always knew we were going to have something special right from day one, and he put together a great group of guys. We all love each other. It's literally, I know everybody says it, but it's like a family in the room. We'd all do anything for each other, and I think that's a huge part of our success so far.
We're definitely a defense-first kind of team. You can see by our wins, we don't beat teams 7-0. We beat them 3-2, 4-3 sort of games, and that comes from spending less time in our own end, especially having Urbani in net there. That doesn't hurt. Our D do a good job getting the puck forward, and it works for us.
You know, good start, which is always critical in terms of the standings, and you know, right now, you know, first place is for us to lose kind of thing. So, you know, we're honing in on trying to end up first in our division, hopefully first in the league.
The Hawks have incredible depth all through their lineup and are a veteran-laden team that knows what it takes to win.
Well, the team is an older team. We've got 9 20-year-olds and 7 19-year-olds. So there's no doubt there's a maturity factor there. We've been blessed with some real good older players though, and you know, they've proven that you know, they're very capable in that you know, we've got a very good record.
That depth will be put to the test over the next few weeks. Trenton recently lost 2 of their best players to injuries, top scorer Liam Morgan and #1 defenseman Adam Clements. The Hawks hope to have both players back before the start of the playoffs. In goal, the squad has been led by Canisius commit Daniel Urbani.
I've never seen someone so close to my age or around the 20-year mark who acts so much like a professional in junior hockey.
We're solid in that with Daniel Urbani, who's you know, we've got some pretty good stats, and Jackson McIntosh is also a real good goaltender. So it starts from, you know, between the pipes, but our D's real good. You know, they're not high risk defense, and we've got forwards that are committed to playing a 200-foot game, and I think when you put it all together, it's a recipe for good defense.
Forward Mitch Emerson is one of many leaders on the veteran squad.
Well, Mitch, first and foremost, is a mature young man with tremendous leadership qualities, who's got some championship experience in that he was with the Toronto Patriots last year. So having him on the team is invaluable, and he comes to work hard every day, and that type of example is so good for everybody else.
With Liam Morgan out of the lineup, Trenton is hoping second leading scorer Danny Hanlon will continue to have a hot stick.
He's a smooth skating center. He does everything right. He's a fun guy to watch. He's got a lot of offensive talent. He can really fly. He's good on the PP. A lot of creativity on him, and he makes good plays.
Forward Hunter Fargy missed a chunk of time this season due to injury, but the team is pumped to have him back and playing at a point-per-game pace.
Mr. Consistency is all I gotta say. That guy comes to the rink every day ready to play. He's never had a bad game that I've noticed so far this year. That he just, it's his game. He skates around, he, toe drags guys, but first is his defensive end, and he's great in their own end, and that's really important.
A pleasant surprise this season has been rookie defenseman Chase Ruddy, who made the jump from Junior C.
Had a great year so far. He's played actually more than we expected him to play. We thought he was going to be more of an in-and-out player, but he's earned his keep, and he's a regular now, and he's really been very effective, very productive player.
The team has come together under the tutelage of head coach Jerome Dupont, a former first-round NHL pick of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Owning the middle of the ice is key. Quick, sure, strong execution. Finish checks to separate. Okay, battle, sacrifice.
He's very professional. He's a win-first kind of guy. He'll do whatever it takes to win. A very dedicated coach. He spends a lot of time, puts in a lot of hours, making sure we have the video prepared, figuring out the best lineups, and it pays off.
It's an exciting time for Trenton, a powerful team that could challenge for the title this year, and in 2017, they'll play host to the Dudley Hewitt Cup.
So we're all pretty fired up because we know it's such a huge thing, especially with the if we pass through, the RBC's right in Cobourg, which is a half an hour down the road. It's actually my hometown, so it's going to be a pretty exciting run next year, and I'm excited to see what it holds.
And just before we go, a look at the top 5 plays from the OJ over the past week. Number 5, Trenton's Josh Allen draws all the Raiders' attention before laying it off for Jordan De Silva, who beats Andrew Masters. Number 4, Kingston's David Richer makes like Gumby, stones Whitby's Jacob Durham. Number 3, Pickering's Mitchell Waldron. The actual goal is a bit of a softie, but he had to get there first. Great solo effort against Orangeville. Number 2, Markham's Tyson Bruce. Watch the little flick over the stick here, and then boom, goes 5-hole on Trenton's Daniel Urbani, part of a huge 3-0 Royals win. And number 1, a double helping from Whitby's Ryan Taylor. Take your pick. Both scorching one-timers. This guy might have the hardest shot in the league. Both of them are OJ plays of the week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, you can head to the league website at ojhl.ca for all the up-to-date news, stats, and standings. On Twitter at OJHLofficial, and of course at facebook.com/OJHLofficial. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'll see you next week.